there we go. Hello, everyone, and how are you doing? Welcome to Energy and the Mind. Okay, so I know that a few people over the weekend you had a few freakouts. This is really common in January. So, January the 1st. Week or so, people are on it, they're motivated and everything, and by the end of January, they're all knackered and wrecked, and the kind of disillusionment of the new year has set in already. And that's why when people make New Year's resolutions, usually people kind of fall off the wagon pretty quickly, you know. So I just wanted to kind of go through some things with you. I posted and shared a video from an Irish personal speaker or public speaker the other day, and what he said really hit home to me. We are now brought up in a society that absolutely pummels us. We want things now. There is no patience. We work like lunatics. We play like lunatics. There's no time for anything, and this starts now at a really young age. Yeah, so we're pummeling our children with exams and having to succeed and all things like that from a very young age now. I always think of my dad. My dad left school after a 3-hour exam when he was 13. And you know what? He's done all right for himself. Life hasn't passed him by. He just knew that life was for living. And also, my dad very much liked going to work, but then he wanted to leave his work at work and come home and leave it alone. He didn't want to take it home with him. And I think many of us take our work home with us. We let our emotions get the better of us. Now, with regards to your health goals, often people attack the health goals like they would attack this modern day life, and they pummel themselves into submission, and in the end that's not going to work, because it is absolutely draining to think about having to think about food and exercise continuously every waking moment of every day. That isn't sustainable, and it sucks your energy, and you just, that's when people go, I can't motivate myself, I can't do it, because they're thinking about it all the time. It's just draining them, it's sucking their life out of them, and I don't want that. Yeah, I do not want that. I want you to live, and I want you to keep the main thing the main thing. Yeah, so yes, we are going to lose weight, tone up, get muscly, get stronger, whatever your goals are. That is what we are going to achieve, but we are not going to achieve it by pummeling you into the ground. Yeah, I don't want you to be exhausted by the mere thought of doing it. I don't want that, I want it to be great. And there's going to be life, and there's going to be birthdays and Christmases and everything, and that's just life, and you're going to enjoy it. I do, you know what I mean? Often if I go out and people see me out in a non-work situation, they'll go, oh, are you having a rum and coke? And I go, well, yeah, I'm not working now. So the idea is, I want you to get the downtime as well as the active time, and I want you to enjoy your food. Yeah, so when you're feeling like it's a negative thing, that diets are terrible, deprivation and exercise just pummels you into the ground, it's gonna wear thin really quickly, and we're not going to do that anymore. We are not going to train super duper hard. We're going to train smart. Yeah, so when we're training, and then we leave it alone and we walk away and we forget about it until the next time. Yeah, I don't want you continuously thinking about it, thinking. I don't want you to be thinking every waking moment about apples and pears and everything. Yeah, but there's some things that we can really do to bring us back into the now. So I know that at the weekend there was quite a few people that were going, oh, I've had a terrible weekend, or this is really terrible. often, especially emotional eating and things like that, happens when we're anxious. Yeah, so when we're anxious or when we're depressed, we will emotionally eat because it unsettles the body. And the body will go, oh, I don't like this. I best ground myself. And the easiest way for the body to ground itself is to eat. Yeah. So they often say that if you're feeling a little bit down, you're thinking of the past. And if you're feeling a little bit anxious, you're thinking of the future. And the body wants you to just focus in the now. And so if you focus in the now, the body's happy, it's settled. And what are you doing when you're eating? You're just focusing on that right now, straight, with nothing else involved. And so that's the body's way of bringing you back into this time and this present. Yeah. And I want you to take things one day at a time. I don't want you to think too far ahead. I love it when people get into the meal prepping and everything. I like that, but why do I like it? It's because you do it and you forget about it. The food is there, you're not worried. So it's just another way of not having it consume your brain. So I want you to really focus on a few things. One, breathing. The breathing takes you back into the now. Yeah. 30 deep, slow breaths will take about 3 minutes. You'll feel high on the oxygen, but it will bring you right now into the now, and you will feel so zen after 3 minutes, 30 deep, slow breaths. It makes such a difference, and people always go, yeah, but do it. It really, really does make a difference. And it will, if you're anxious, if you need comfort, if the breathing calms the body down as well. So we can go a few weeks without food, and we might be able to go a few days without water, but we can only go a few minutes without oxygen. So breathing really makes all the difference in the world. The other thing that the public speaker was saying on the clip that I shared was, you have to replace a thought. Oh, what have I got here? Things on my face. You have to replace a thought with something else to get rid of it. So he used the example of, if I said think of the Eiffel Tower, try and get the Eiffel Tower out of your head now. Can you get the Eiffel Tower out of your head? You can't. The Eiffel Tower is there in the head. And all you've got to think of is, we've got to replace it. So if I says, well, replace that image with a picture of Big Ben in your mind, picture of Big Ben, you just slot that in and out goes the Eiffel Tower and in comes Big Ben and all is good. So when it comes to changing your mindset, you have to replace it with something else. You can't just magic it away and say nothing is going to be there. I'm just going to think of nothing. That doesn't work. So you've got to replace whatever you're thinking. If it's a negative thought, you've got to replace it. Even if it's with a positive thought, you've got to replace it with something else, you see. I love the tip he gave. They analysed lots of athletes and how they move and how they talk, and the very elite, successful athletes, and even very elite and successful business people. And ironically, I was taught this when I was younger, for auditions and for job interviews and for stage presence. Yeah. So they said, if you stand there and you bring your shoulders back and you puff up your chest like a little peacock and you have your head high, and they call it the Superman effect. It naturally expands the lungs. You bring in more oxygen, which makes you feel better. And also, quite naturally, both men and women have testosterone in them. Women less than men, but still we both have that. And it naturally increases your testosterone, which is your wonderful, fighting, kind of strong and action-filled kind of hormone. So they call it the Superman effect. That's when you take this stance, suddenly you feel invincible and you feel wonderful. And so he said, try it this week, try it, So often we go around with our heads down, we're looking at our phones, we're at work like this and all the rest of it. I used to always laugh. I had an ex-boyfriend who was very jealous of me on the stage because he used to see me go onto the stage and I'd go into show mode. And we came off the stage one night, he came to see a show, he wasn't very happy. And I says, we're going to walk out through the audience. And he said, oh, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. People will see you. And I went, no, we'll walk out through the audience. And I was in my tracksuit bottoms and everything. And I walked out and I said, who looked at me? And he said, no one. I says, they only look at you when you're on the stage. They only look at you when the spotlight's on you, when you're all puffed up like a little peacock, you know. But this has psychological connotations. So some people don't want to be seen. Some people want to hide away. But I want you to feel good. And when you feel good, it's a knock-on effect. You don't have to be perfect. We've just got to make progression. Yeah? And some of the psychological things that are hindering us, we have to put it to bed. Yeah? I know that when I come with anxiousness and depression, people that come to me and I suggest nutritional tips, they kind of roll their eyes at me and say, how will this possibly help me? But not only will it help your energy, it will massively help your mind. And this is what we're after. We want better energy and we want a better mindset. And if you need a little helping hand now and again, that's not a bad thing. So I'm going to introduce you to, I've been shouting about this, rhodiola. Rhodiola is for energy, not for when people are breastfeeding, for my pregnant ladies out there. You can use it 2 or 3 times a day. It is amazing stuff. It really lifts up your energy. I don't like the taste of it, so I put it into tea, juice, water, you know, and that's how I take it. But you can just take it on your tongue. And then before I go to bed, I take ashwagandha. Oh, well, I call it ashwagandha. As you can see, it's called ashwagandha. And it's a similar thing, except it calms the mind. So it calms the mind before you go to sleep. And I'm wanting that. I'm wanting to calm it. It's completely natural, completely herbal, will do you no harm whatsoever. The big thing about your mind and your energy, especially in this country, is that we are vitamin D deficient in a major way, in a massive way. And even when it's sunny, the light is still poor. So if you are vitamin D deficient, which many people are now, you'll be like a little Duracell battery just wearing down. The energy will go out of you. You'll have low mood. Your bones will ache. You'll just feel rubbish. And so we have got the vitamin D supplement. As you can see, this is from New You, and it's 10,000 milligrams, which is quite a lot. So I don't take this every day. I take it every 2nd or 3rd day, you know, take it every 2nd or 3rd day. To give myself a boost. And how this raises your energy, it's fantastic how it raises your energy. It really helps you, and it helps your mind as well, because if you're vitamin D deficient, you'll feel blue. Yeah. The other things is, if you are vitamin B deficient, you'll be depressed. Yeah. So people that are lacking in vitamin B, you might be eating plenty of vitamin B foods, but you might have a problem with absorption maybe. It does very affect the mind. Your vitamin B foods are your perky vitamins, so they make you feel upbeat and perky, as well as helping all manner of other things. So if you are feeling particularly blue and struggling with motivation and everything, the vitamin B, again, will lift you mentally, and it will work very well. Again, I don't take these every day. I take them every 3rd day or every 2nd day, depending on how I'm feeling. And that is the thing with supplements. I don't want you to live on supplements. You can't have a curry and a lager and take a load of supplements. I want you to live and eat well. The supplements are there for a helping hand. Yeah. So if I have a week where I'm feeling good and I'm full of energy and vim, I probably won't even go near any of that. And then if I'm having a week where I am tired, I'm lethargic, and mentally I'm struggling, I will go near that. Now, people who say, oh, well, shouldn't they be in your system? So if you eat broccoli, or you have a steak, or you have veggie pie, does it take a few months for it to be digested and used? It doesn't. It gets used and digested straight away. And that's exactly the same with supplements. So you should feel a benefit from them straight away. Yeah. So give it a couple of days, but it should be a quick turnaround. It shouldn't be slow, you know. Um, so I'm looking at you breathing. If you need the supplements, great. I want you eating well, but I don't want your mind consumed every waking moment over food and exercise and because that's just exhausting. And what's also exhausting is you completely berating yourself and being so critical about yourself. And just, if you think of yourself as a small child, if you just say you're disgusting, you're terrible, you're horrible, you look at the state of you, why can't you do this, you're useless, if you're saying stuff like that to yourself all the time, why would you have any energy or any kind of motivation to get going? We want you to be thinking wonderful thoughts about yourself. And sometimes I know this is hard. Sometimes they just go, I think my pinky's okay. And that's a start, yeah? But you can't just stop negative thinking. You have to replace it with another thought, yeah? And there's no use replacing it with another bad thought. You might as well replace it with another good thought, you know? So, oh, I've got someone saying hello. Hello. So we're all good. Do you know what I mean? So rather than letting the mind consume you, I want you to take a moment, take a step back. And yes, we're going to do, you know, our exercise and our nutrition, and we're going to enjoy our food, and we're going to train when we're training, and then we're going to forget about it when we're not training. I don't want it to consume every living, waking moment. This does your brain no favors, and energy wise it's very poor. You know, like energy wise it will bring you down, it'll suck you dry, it will be awful. So I want you to take a breath, use your breath to relax and bring you back to the moment. Yeah, I want you to just take everything in a relaxed manner. We're going to chill out. If you need help from the supplements, fabulous. If you're eating well, not a problem. But we're going to listen to our body, listen to your energy. Your body is speaking to you all the time. It's sending messages all the time. And we have just got to listen to the body. It's on our side. We've just got to take control and listen to the body and make sure that, you know, it's working. We're working with it rather than against it. You will know when you're working against your body because it'll feel like a battle. It'll feel like you're trying to run uphill with massive things on your back, and it's terrible. So when you work with your body, you'll be okay. Yeah, so it'll seem easy. So all my clients that are very successful, one of the things they always say is it's easier than I thought it was going to be. I feel good. Mentally I'm in the right place. Remember to change your negative thought for a positive one, but you've got to replace it with some kind of thought. And that's why music is so great. Yeah, so music can change your energy and your mood very quickly. So even if you're having a bad day and the music is, you know, like you're feeling very negative, stick on your favourite song and have a bop. You know, it'll change your energy, it'll change your mood. Hang in there, guys. You've all been doing really well. Life is life. There'll be ups and there'll be downs. But we just keep going and we train smart. Not pummeling, smart. So I hope you're very well. I hope this has helped you. And I will speak to you very soon. Now I've got to figure out how to turn it off.